Hello and welcome to the video. This is about my hobby journey, the models I purchased, assembled, and painted, and the games that I played in June, and my plans for July, now that we're in that month. So basically, throughout much of June, it was a busy month for me. I purchased Battletome Nighthaunt, mostly for my wife, so that she and I can start playing some games together. But I really want to push that a little further. Look, I want to get the Skaven one. I want to get the Sylvan F1. I want to get the Iden F1. There's a lot that I want to start picking up and exploring and trying out some different armies that I have and seeing what they do in the meta. Both in terms of just some variety in the play, but just also to learn what each of these armies are capable of. And so I'm better prepared if I face them at an event. Otherwise, I purchased the Vanguard Maggotkin, so an extra 10 Plague Bearers for my army, some Blight Kings, some Puskoil Blight Lords. I actually sold the Spoilpox Scrivener, or I'm trying to anyway, and I think that might be my last purchases for the Maggotkin for the time being. That's really hard because I really would love to get like a Great Unclean one and a few other things, but I've already invested fairly heavily in Maggotkin over the last 6 or 7 months, and I feel like I just need to kind of move on. I have a really solid force now with the introduction of that extra Vanguard. Now I have 20 Blight Kings, I have about 5 Puskoil Blight Lords, Lord of Afflictions. I picked up a couple extra characters like a Gutrot Spume, and I think it's a well fleshed out collection. I think I'm pretty happy with it. I got the Glockkin a month or two ago, so I'm just going to focus on painting those up and getting them going. I'm subscribed to the Imperium magazine, so I have some extra models to that, some crates and some basic terrain, which is good. I really want to flesh out my terrain collection a bit more. I got some Assault Intercessors, which I'm probably going to make for Flesh Terrors. And I got my first premium package this month, which was Chaos Space Marines. So some good sprinkling there. I really need to keep in mind that I get the Imperium magazine because it's something I often forget. And it's like, oh yeah, these extra models that I regularly pay for, apparently. And I picked up Alrock the Drowner for the Nighthaunt. I think that's how you say his name. Something akin to that, anyway. Look, I won this at a tournament. Basically, this is our tournament proceeds from winning. Mrs. Hooves joked about if I had won that time, I should get something that she could use. She was joking, but I decided I'd get something for her anyway. And so that added that to my little Nighthaunt collection, which I'm hoping to get some play here. And I started selling some models this month too, which is it's a good progress for me. So I've been selling some things from the Imperium magazine that I don't really need. I already have a pretty solid Necron collection, so a lot of my Necrons will probably get sold. And I'm selling some Tyranids as I approach working on them. I have way too many Gene Stealers, as I talked about before, so those have been sold on eBay, and I'm recouping some of my expenses there, which is good. So most of June, I spent a good time assembling kind of the Tyranid Combat Patrol box. I actually sold the Warriors, a decent little profit considering, that's a good way of paying for these types of things because they're already at decent discounts. If you can recoup most of the value of them, then the value of those boxes really drops pretty significantly. So I picked up the Swarm Lord and assembled him. I got the Parasite, the new Parasite model, and that Combat Patrol box comes with like 30 Termagants. Those are all assembled. I also, my Tyranid army, even though I was pretty low in Termagants, I really wanted to push to have some larger creatures to give it balance. Because I have some Carnifex and things like that, but I also have like 80 Gene Stealers and 90 Hormagons, and now I have like 60 or 70 regular termagants, right? And so I wanted some bigger, beefier monsters in there to just visually mix up what the army looks like. And so I basically picked up 2 Tyrannifex and a Tervagon as well, and assembled those as well. The army I'll be working on after Tyranid is Gloomspite Gits. I've lined up a couple armies here. My goal is to paint that 1000 model, my elusive goal. And I'm going to try to do this by leveraging a few armies that are just pretty easy to paint a lot of models. And Gloomspite Gits is definitely one of those, right? Where I have a couple hundred just regular goblins. Surely I can paint good 10, 20 of those a week easily. Probably in a day a lot of the time. But again, I wanted to get some visualization to that army list a bit. So I picked up some of the Snufflers. I picked up the new Loon King model, the Loon Shrine, which I didn't have before. Another unit of Squig Hoppers, and the Gaba Palooza warband of different little mystics and shamans and stuff, which I just think is such a cool little kit. So I look forward to painting those in the coming months. And with the Black Templar army now finally behind me, I'm transitioning, once I built all this stuff, to now work on Beast of Chaos. So the 3 armies I'll be working on the latter half of this year is Beast of Chaos, Tyranids, and Gloomspite Gits. And if I can miraculously finish all 3, I'll definitely push into probably like Sisters of Battle or Admech before turning to maybe Skaven or something. But there's a lot to do there. And I rebased probably about 60 models for Beasts of Chaos. This is still much of a Warhammer Fantasy army for me. So there's a bit of work to be done there. It's a lot of time spent rebasing models, which kind of cuts into what I can paint. But I still did pretty good, all in considering all the other work that I'm doing. So I finished the Warband for Warhammer Underworlds. That's 6 models. I did 10 Chaos Warhounds that have been on my to-do list for like 15 years. Really nice to get those finally finished. I actually painted up 10 models from Battle Masters, which is I'm going through and I've allocated all the Battle Master and Hero Quest models into their respective factions. And so when I get to those, I'll paint them up. You know, when I get to my Slaves to Darkness, I'll be painting up my old Chaos Knights from Battle Masters and the old Chaos Warriors. But I painted up these Gores. And you know, they have those old stickers on the shields that they're really poorly placed. They're off-center and stuff. I was 9 or 10 years old when I put this together, and I wanted to at least maintain that. Right, I tried to remove the sticker, but I'm pretty sure they would rip or not look great. So I put some painter's tape over them and then primed the model, and that seemed to maintain the little sticker on the shields pretty well. So I was pretty happy with that. And then I painted the old Beast of Chaos character, Morgur or something. I forget now. But anyway, he's essentially, I'm going to use him as a Chaos Spawn. You know, technically, I think in Legends, he's now just a Bray Shaman, but his base is like a 50 millimeter. So Chaos Spawn he is. I painted up 2 great Bray Shaman, 1 Beast Lord. Again, one of the Kazrak, the One Eye, which I'll just use as a generic Beast Lord. Just a host of old characters that I've been basically hanging on to now for 20 years or so that I finally get painted, which I'm quite happy with. And then to top it off, about 19 Bestigor. So decent amount of hobby this month for me, a lot of assembling and a lot of painting, all things considered. I'm going to push into that this month. I'm already doing some Maggotkin in July, and I want to quickly finish that and get back to Beastmen and really push to have that collection finish as soon as I can to roll into Tyranids again as fast as I can. So I'm painting these very aggressively. They're just contrast paints. I think they're reasonably decent quality, and I'm pushing forward. So 50 models in June was my tally. I'm on track. Obviously, that's not on schedule to do 1,000, but considering that most of those 50 are probably in about 2 weeks, that's pretty good. And so that's what I want to be doing more of, and that's what I plan on doing. There'll be some more rebasing this month and the next month, but I'm pretty happy with how things are going. So games, well, I did a video earlier this month where I had basically a tournament review at the thrilled results of having actually won 2 small tournaments in June. I'll take that any day, man. I'm not the most experienced player, so the fact that I can roll up and win straight games gives me some hope. And my Maggotkin now are on a 15-game winning streak. I just think they're a solid army, and my opponents just have a hard time dealing with that many wounds and that much hitting power, because I'm using big blocks of Blightkeens and coming down with Puskoil Blight Lords and hitting as much of a kind of a soft alpha. I'm certainly not just spamming pure Puskoils, but I have enough resilience in the Blightkeens and numbers in the Blightkeens and enough dice. With the new rules too, like unit of 10 Blightkeens getting 50 attacks is rather insane. I think the Lord of Plagues has a little more play now than it used to, insofar as in the past you maybe get 5 extra attacks. With the new rules, you can get an extra 10 attacks. So I've been using him and 60 attacks. Especially since the one thing I find of Maggotkin is it's really hard to find, like, if you end up at 90 points short. I don't have enough spellcasters to really put like a lot of endless spells, and I don't really want to take a chaos spawn or something, so I usually just leave it there, and I've still been winning games. So it hasn't been a huge handicap. It does mean I'm inspired, or I get one unit that's generally inspired. And if you have 60 attacks of Blightkeens that are bounty hunters too, because why not? That are hitting on 2s, winning on 2s, and doing 2 damage, yeah, you'll delete whatever you're against. So I've been having a lot of fun with those. I did play a couple games of Hedonites in April and March, and I want to start spicing it up. So, as I said, I want to buy other battle tomes. I don't want to just keep smashing my regular opponents with the same list that they are clearly having a little bit of difficulty with. I want to spice it up and play other things and experience all the many armies that I have and just play at different rules and try them out. So it's been a great month. Lots of games, a couple of games at home, which was fun, and it's just been great. The collection resource, I am still working on this. I've been, every now and then I take a month off or something, but last month I've been very busy and working through catalogs page by page, adding in product codes and just being as thorough and detailed as I can. I don't see any point in putting this out until I think I have something quite substantive. I will probably, my absolute goal is to have some sort of finished product here in the coming months. In the next month or two, hopefully, I can really start focusing more on that. But there's still a lot of work to do. I'm putting in as many hours as I can, week after week, and I'm pushing for it. So some of the upcoming content that I plan on doing on my channel in July, well, I'm going to be revamping some of my etymology videos. I think I went too specific, started doing kind of individual videos on individual words. I think that's a bad route. And it's clearly not what a lot of people kind of want to see. It's far too specific, far too kind of limited in its scope. So I'm going to be going back and just doing broad faction etymology videos in the near future. So Stormcast, you'll see kind of a cohesive, I'll probably remove or delete those individual videos that exist and just basically produce a single, probably like 1 hour video on Stormcast etymology. And I have a good 4 or 5 videos coming up on what I consider to be different armies in Warhammer, which is a kind of a collector's perspective on how many specific armies truly exist in this game, and the way I think about these types of things from kind of an in-depth collector's standpoint. And I'll be doing a little video coming up shortly on comparing the new Changeling model to the previous version, and I want to do more of that type of content going forward because I really enjoy it. I think that's something that I can put forward kind of a unique voice and really explore. So some of the videos I have planned, I hope to put out 2 or 3 videos at least in July and continue work on this channel into the future. So that's my hobby for June. I'm going to basically turn this off and start painting immediately and try to get as much work as I can into July. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good one. See ya.